Today I am making 6 super cute boho circle placemats, and all you will need is 6 fat quarters and a little bit of background yardage, plus of course binding and backing. But I will have a PDF pattern available for y'all down below in the description for free. So first up, you're going to iron your fat quarters to get rid of any harsh creases. Then you're going to trim your fat quarters first to 18 by 20 inches. Now I know fat quarters are labeled at 18 by 20, but they are never perfectly cut, so they usually are a little bit larger. So just to make it easier and quick, trim all your fat quarters once again to 18 by 20 inches. Once your fat quarters are trimmed down, next you're going to want to cut 5 1.5 inch by 20 inch strips. You will be left with a 10.5 inch by 20 inch rectangle. Here I am going to trim and cut one more fat quarter for you all. With your background yardage, you are going to cut 1.5 inch by width of fabric strips, and then you're going to subcut them into 1.5 inches by 20 inches strips. And once again, all of this will be available in the PDF pattern down below. Once you have everything cut, it is time to lay out the first placemat. So you'll want to select a 10.5 inch by 20 inch print, and then a background 1.5 inch by 20 inch strip. But you'll be followed by that secondary print of 1.5 inch by 20 inch strip. And then you'll just keep alternating every other 1.5 inch strip like so. And you will end up with a print 1.5 inch by 20 inch strip. And now all you'll need to do is sew everything together. So first I will be sewing the 1.5 by 20 inch pairs together and pressing my seams to the dark side. Then once the tiny strips are sewn together, lastly you're going to sew the larger 10.5 inch by 20 inch rectangle together. And this is pretty simple, so just keep repeating until all 6 placemats are sewn together. Now this is pretty simple, just keep repeating until all 6 placemats are sewn. Now here are all the sets that I have made for my placemats. Now before we turn this into a circle, let's quilt it first. So go ahead and take your background fabric and lay it wrong side up, followed by batting, and then you'll just lay all your placemats on top. I do highly recommend ironing your backing fabric before you quilt it. If you'd like, you can use a spray basting spray to keep everything together, or just pin it and then take it to your sewing machine to quilt it. But I will be using my Longarm, so let's get started. Now at the Longarm machine, I am first going to baste down my edges. And the thread I am using today is Glide in Mocha. It is a light golden brown color that is a little bit muted. Mocha is one of my top faves to quilt with as well. Then since this is going to be a circle placemat, I went ahead and designed a robotics half circle that echoes 1/4 inch. I currently do not have any large quilting rulers that are curves, which is why I'm opting for a custom robotics block filler that I personally created myself. And if you like the robotics design and also have the robotics Longarm machine, I will have all of the digital files available for free as well in the description down below. Once that is all quilted out, I will tie off and put my Longarm ruler base on my machine, as well as disengage my robotic system so I can free motion quilt some straight line quilting. I went ahead and advanced the quilt upwards, and I am now going to stitch in the ditch between each 1 inch strip. Then on the print 1 inch strip, I'm going to quilt a straight line in the middle. Now if you are using a robotic system and a free motion on your quilt, what I like to do personally is do all of the robotics first, then disengage everything and add the ruler base, and then go back and free motion what is left before I advance my quilt forward. This will save some time. But for this video, I went ahead and just quilted one out for you all, but I will repeat these same steps for each placemat. And here is everything quilted out. I went ahead and trimmed the excess fabric off and squared them up as best as I could, and you should be left with a 20 inch square. Now you may have some small shrinkage from quilting, but that is normal. As a bonus, if you are not a fan of a placemat, from this point you can also turn it into a 20-inch pillow cover. But today we are going to complete it as a placemat. With the PDF pattern, you will receive a 2-page template. So make sure when you are printing, your printer setting is set at 100%. Do not scale to print. And there will be a 1-inch square register mark available for you to check. Now right here there are 2 rectangles, and when you print them they will be a darker gray color than mine, and that is normal. Nothing is wrong with your printer. Mine came out way lighter and I didn't want to reprint and basically waste paper. But go ahead and take a ruler and measure that 1-inch square to make sure it is accurate, and if it is, then using paper scissors go ahead and cut on the exterior bold line, and then using Scotch tape, tape part A and B together. Once your template is made, take one of your placemats and using a fabric erasable marker or some sort of erasable marking tool, I'm going to be using a chalk-based tool. On the larger print line, measure 10 inches away from the edge and mark a dot in the middle. Then using your template, start by placing it on the top right, and then using once again a fabric erasable tool, you will only need to mark the curved edge. Then you're going to go ahead and flip your template over to the left, trace the curved edge again, then repeat the same steps but now towards the bottom. And once you have that curve drawn out, go ahead and take some fabric scissors and cut the curve out. Lastly, all you will need to do is add some bias binding and you're done. Just go ahead and repeat those last few steps to all of your curved mats and bon appetit! Here are all 6 of my placemats, and I do hope you've enjoyed this quick tutorial, and if you could, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing project. Thank you!